Colin Tiler, a teacher at Greenacres Comprehensive School, was elected to conduct his own defence against the charge of indecent assault upon one of his pupils on August the 25th last year. The boy, Kevin Anderson, is now 16, and his mother, Mrs. Rita Anderson, is the next witness for the prosecution.
Mrs. Anderson, what happened on the night of August the 25th? Bank holiday Monday.
Kevin came home early.
What time was that?
Before midnight.
How was he when he came in?
He were upset. I could tell something terrible had happened because he walked round and talked a lot.
Did you ask him what was troubling him?
Oh, yeah, I always do. I said, Kevin, is there something you want to tell your mum? Then it all came out.
Can you tell the court what Kevin said?
He said he'd been round to his teachers, and he were really upset because this man had mucked him about.
Can you remember his exact words?
I'll never forget them to me dying day. He said, he's been trying it on with me. I don't want nothing to do with it. What does he think I am, a cream puff? And then he cried. So then I did know something was wrong.
And what was your reaction to the state he was in?
Well, I've never seen him so upset. I was going to go round and see him, this teacher, and I had my coat on, only it was a bit late, and I didn't want to leave Kevin on his own.
Thank you, Mrs. Anderson.
Here, I don't want to be cross-examined by him. I don't want to. You're the scum of the earth, you are, you poisoner.
Mrs. Anderson, you will answer the questions in as civil and as truthful a manner as you can. Whoever puts them to you. Yeah?
Mrs. Anderson, now, you said that Kevin came in before midnight.
Yeah.
How much before midnight?
I don't know. Must have been about 1:45.
Well, now, he left me at 9:30. Do you know why it took him 2 hours to get home?
I expect he was walking round and round in a daze after what you'd done to him.
Yes, quite. Now, according to you, he said this man had mucked him about.
That's what he said.
Can I suggest to you what he actually said was this man had been mucking about?
No, you don't get in that state just through mucking about.
Well, now, you told the court his exact words. Would you be so kind as to repeat them, please?
I'll never forget them to me dying day. He said, I don't want people like that interfering with me. Who does he think I am? I think he's a puff. And then he cried.
Those were his exact words?
There's no doubt about it.
Well, considering the fact that you said you'd never forget his words till your dying day, Mrs. Anderson, your memory must be very weak, because 2 minutes ago you repeated his exact words to this gentleman here, and they were very different.
Well, it's the same thing. It all comes to the same thing, that he'd been assaulted.
How old were you when Kevin was born, Mrs. Anderson?
I was 16.
And were you married at the time?
No.
Could you have chosen to have Kevin adopted?
Yeah, but I didn't. He was my kid. I done wrong and I had to see it through.
Now, when did he begin to stay out all night?
He's been doing it for years, I don't know.
And did you find that he was becoming demanding?
Yeah, but, well, I couldn't give him things other kids had because I didn't have a husband. I mean, nobody could have done enough for him. They all want the earth. I had to give him 50 pence a day to go to school.
You had to give him 50 pence a day?
Well, I'd been in trouble when he were little because he wouldn't go to school. He said he'd go missing if I didn't give it him.
So you had to pay him money each day to persuade him to go to school?
Well, a lot of mothers do on the estate. I mean, he's got to keep up with his mates, else he takes it out on me. You can't not give it him. You can't deny a child what he wants.
Did you try to give him everything that he wanted, Mrs. Anderson?
Oh, yeah.
Was there anything that you couldn't give him?
No. Well, only an electric organ, but we had nowhere to put it.
No. Was there anything else that you felt he couldn't get at home?
No.
Why do you think he went out so much?
Well, he's young. They want to enjoy themselves.
You think it's usual for kids to go out alone and stay out all night?
Well, they all do it, all his mates. I mean, they're all right, so long as they're left alone.
Could Kevin have been out looking for affection, Mrs. Anderson?
There's only one person can give him affection, and that's me, his mother. A kid don't want affection from nobody else. And not until he's ready to get married.
Now, is it not a fact that the one thing in his life that mainly was missing was a figure of authority, a man?
Not like you. A father, somebody normal.
Is it not possible, Mrs. Anderson, that a boy can realise what is missing in his life and go out and look for it?
No.
Did you know that he was a friend of Mr. Harmon?
Who's Mr. Harmon?
The gentleman over there, sitting in the benches?
No.
No. Now, you say you thought he went to places of amusement?
Yeah.
Arcades?
Yeah.
Do you think he might have fallen under bad influences there as well as at school?
I don't know, yeah.
Did you know that he went into pubs?
No, he doesn't. He's not old enough.
Now, the court has heard evidence that he does, or did, go into pubs.
Then it's a load of lies.
Did you know that also he used to sometimes stand on the slip road to the motorway, hitching lifts late at night?
He never.
No evidence of that so far, Mr. Tyler?
It will be given presently, my lord.
Oh, yeah?
Now, Mrs. Anderson, did you ever receive any letters from me?
Letters? Not that I know of.
Did you never receive a letter saying that I would like to come and talk to you about Kevin's progress at school?
I don't know. We get lots of letters. Rent, TV, electricity, housing. I can't remember everything that comes through the door.
You did not, on 3 separate occasions, receive letters from me requesting that I be allowed to come and see you or that you come to see me about Kevin.
I don't know anything about it.
Then what happened to the letters? Did you burn them?
No, I don't know anything about no letters. I didn't want people from the school leering round my flat.
Did you receive the letters?
Yeah.
And did you choose not to come and see me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Anderson.
Mrs. Anderson, what kind of a boy is Kevin?
Well, he's a good lad. Since my husband left, I've always had to rely on him.
Did he help you at home?
Oh, yeah, he was very good to me. Like when I had my operation. He looked after the little uns.
Well, can you tell us something more about your circumstances, Mrs. Anderson?
My son? Oh, yeah. My husband left us. He went back to Scotland when the baby were only 3 months old. He was my 4th. Baby.
This is no laughing matter. Yes, Mr. Rope.
Did you notice any change in your son's behaviour after he went to Greenacres Comprehensive School?
Yeah, I did.
What kind of a change was there in him?
He got worse.
In what way?
Well, he started giving me a load of lip, and he swore a lot. I couldn't control him. They seem to let him do what they like at the school. There's a lot of rubbish goes there, bad company like.
Do you think he came under the influence of any individual?
He liked David Essex.
Oh, no, Mrs. Anderson, dear. You missed my point. Did you think that he was being influenced at school?
Well, somewhat were affecting him. I mean, I thought it were his age. He was so defiant. But somebody was putting ideas in his head. I mean, he used to be kind and good to me. But then he just didn't want to know. Lately, like, where all these things were going on.
Well, now, Mrs. Anderson, we are all here to ascertain exactly what was going on. You just answer the questions put to you as briefly as you can. And if you don't know the answer, say, I don't know.
I don't know.
Had you ever been to Kevin's new school?
What for?
Well, didn't you ever wonder how he was getting on?
Well, no, it worried me. I wanted him to leave. I didn't think he was learning anything.
Obviously, Mrs. Anderson, you are a very busy mother. You have great problems in bringing up your family. Now, would it be fair to say that there were times at which you could not keep as close an eye on Kevin as you would have wished to have done?
Yeah, definitely.
And at such times, when you were busy with the other children, would it have been possible for Kevin to fall prey to some individual without your knowing about it?
Yeah. I've got 3 little children, you see. One of them's still in nappies. I mean, even Barry, he's 8 and he can't tie his shoelaces. He has to go to a backward school. I feel tied to that house as if I was on a bit of rope. Kevin used to be the one who helped me. I mean, I couldn't shadow him all over the town. I've got too much to do. And you can't tie them down when they get to be 14 or 15. And they want money. I mean, I even did a little job because he wanted things. I gave him all I could. I even bought him a puppy, but it got run over. I've done my best.
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Anderson. Kevin, will you tell the court exactly what happened on August the 25th of last year?
Well, we went to the fair, me and Colin. It was a bank holiday and there was nothing to do. So I asked Colin if he'd take me to the fair. And we went and we had a nice day. Then I didn't want to go home, so I asked him if we could go back to the flat for some tea. I didn't want to go home because I knew if I did, she'd make me sit with the kids while she went out. And I told Colin, and I thought he understood. And he put his arm around my shoulder.
And then what happened?
He started messing about with me.
What happened exactly?
I told him I didn't want to.
Yes? You didn't want to what?
Do anything that might look bent.
What does bent mean to you?
Well, queer, homosexual.
Would you describe in your own words exactly what Mr. Tyler did to you?
Well, we were having a fight.
A fight? Were you quarrelling?
No, a friendly fight, like wrestling.
Where were you wrestling?
All round the room, on the floor.
What happened during the course of this wrestling?
He took hold of me where he shouldn't. He took hold of what I go to the toilet with, and then he rubbed himself against me.
How did you feel about what was happening?
I was upset. I never thought Colin would do a thing like that. I thought he just wanted me to be his mate. And I thought, that spoilt the day. And we'd had a nice day up until then.
Now, you say you felt upset. Did you show that you were upset?
Yeah. I said to Colin I'd got to go. I said I couldn't stay if that sort of thing was going to happen. And then he had a coke and I went.
How long were you in the flat altogether that evening?
From about 6 till 9:30.
Were there any other callers?
Yeah. A lady knocked at the door.
And do you know that lady?
Yeah.
Who was she?
Mrs. Harmon.
Mrs. Harmon, yes. Did she come into the flat?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
What were you doing when she knocked at the door?
We were mucking about.
Did you speak to her?
Yeah.
Did she say, I should think you would want to get some clothes on?
Yes, she did.
What were you wearing at the time?
Well, I'd taken my shirt off while we were wrestling, because I was hot.
Whose idea was it that you should take your shirt off?
Colin's. He said it might get torn if I kept it on.
Now, Kevin, you said that you felt very upset. When you left Mr. Tyler's flat, did you tell anyone what had happened?
Yeah. I went to the disco mart first, and I told Malcolm, Mr. Harmon, about it. And he said I'd got to calm down and go home. So I did. Then I went and told my mum.
And what did you say to your mother?
I said, I don't want anybody trying things on with me. I ain't a puff.
Thank you, Kevin.
Now, Kevin, we've heard a lot about what happened in the early part of the evening of August the 25th. Now, when you left my flat, you went to Mr. Harmon's discotheque, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes. And then you went home.
Yeah.
You were upset, weren't you?
Yeah.
Now, after you told your mother everything, did you go to bed?
No.
I see. So, perhaps you stayed up and listened to the radio?
No.
Well, what did you do then, Kevin?
I went out.
At midnight?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
I went to Warrington.
And how did you get there?
I hitched a lift on the motorway.
Strange sort of thing to do, isn't it, if you were so upset?
No. Well, you see, I heard there was a pop festival there, but I couldn't find it. So I went into a cafe, and then I got a lift home in a lorry.
And what time did you get home for the second time that night?
I don't know. It was light, though.
I see. Now, Kevin, will you tell the court when you first met me?
When I came to Greenacre School, in your class.
And what subject did you like best?
History.
Why?
Because it was interesting.
Do you remember the first time that you stopped back to talk to me at school?
Yeah.
Did I ask you to stay behind?
No.
So why did you?
I wanted to talk to you.
Yes. Now, do you remember what you wanted to talk to me about?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about history?
No.
So...
Only a little bit.
What did we talk about?
Things at home.
Now, did you tell me that you were very unhappy at home?
Yeah.
Did you tell me that you were thinking of leaving home?
Yeah.
And did I advise you to do so?
No. You said I had to stay at home and look after my mum.
Now, do you know if your mother ever received any letters from school written by me?
Yes, she did.
Did she read them?
She can't read. I read them to her.
So, you know what they were about?
Yeah. They were about option choices and stuff like that, going out on school trips.
And what was your mother's reaction to those?
She wasn't interested. She said, trips? You can trip arse over heels for all I care.
Did you ever feel as a child that you missed having a father?
No. I only knew her husband.
You mean your stepfather?
She made me call him uncle.
Yeah.
Did you ever seek the friendship of older people?
No.
Did you spend a lot of time in the Disco Mart record shop in the precinct?
A fair bit, on Saturdays.
And did you meet Mr. Harmon there?
Yeah.
Would you say that he had been a friend?
Yeah. Well, he helped me to find records and stuff like that.
And would you say that he was still your friend?
No.
And why is that, Kevin?
You should know. You said that I hadn't got to see Malcolm because I was in your class, when you were worried about your job, being a teacher and that.
Did you ever have a sexual relationship with him?
No.
Did you ever have adults making sexual advances to you?
You know I have.
And how do I know, Kevin?
I told you. I told you everything.
And did I approve or did I condemn it?
No. You said it wasn't right. You said it might damage me psychologically.
Now, Kevin, will you tell the court a little bit about the kind of sexual encounters you had with those people?
Well, it only happened once or twice, when I didn't want to go home. Sometimes, when I got lifts, people used to offer me money. But I never took it.
And what did these people want from you?
They wanted to cuddle me and that.
Did you let them?
Sometimes.
Did you like it?
No. I don't know.
Now, do you remember the evening of November the 15th, 1974? That was the evening that you met Mr. Harmon in the Wimpy Bar.
Yeah.
Now, what did you learn from Mr. Harmon on that day?
That he didn't want to see me anymore.
Did he give a reason for it?
Yeah. He said if he continued to see me, he might get carried away.
Oh, did he give any other reasons for that?
That was the first time I learned he lived in the same flat with you. And because I was in your class, it might make things more difficult. And he didn't want to get you into any trouble.
Now, how did the evening end?
Well, you came into the Wimpy, and you suggested it might be more comfortable and sensible if we went back to the flat and talked about things.
As a result of the discussion we had back at the flat, was it agreed that you should cease seeing Mr. Harmon?
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, what happened the following evening?
I came round to the flat.
Why did you do that?
Because I wanted to see you.
Why?
Because I thought you wanted to see me.
And what made you think that, Kevin?
Well, I thought you stopped me seeing Mr. Harmon so that I could come and see you instead.
Now, when you called at the flat that following evening, on November the 16th, did I invite you in?
No.
Why was that?
You thought it wasn't right.
So what happened?
I went home.
When was the first time that you saw me outside school, apart from the 15th and 16th of November 1974?
I can't remember. But it was after Christmas.
Did we go anywhere alone?
No.
Would you tell the court where we went?
We went on trips. History trips, stuff like that. Seeing old buildings. And we went to London to the British Museum.
Were we ever alone?
No.
Now, did you ever come and talk to me at school alone?
Yeah.
When?
After class, in the dinner hour.
You looked upon me as somebody you could talk to.
Yeah.
You thought of me as a friend as well as a school teacher.
Yeah.
Now, how did it come about that we went out together alone? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Or will you tell the court?
Well, I came to you on the last day of term. And I said I didn't know I was going to get through the summer holidays. I said I hated the holidays. And I asked you to take me out somewhere. I said that I was scared of being on my own.
Now, although we went out together alone several times, did I ever ask you to go with me?
No.
Did you ever come back to the flat?
No. Only after the fair.
And then, did I invite you?
No, I asked.
Now, Kevin, will you tell the court what happened on the evening of August the 25th when we got back to the flat?
Well, we had some tea, and then we had a fight. Then there was a knock at the door, and it was Mrs. Harmon. And then she went away, and then we started fighting again.
Do you remember what caused the second fight?
Yeah. You were taking the mickey out of me, calling me skinny and that, so I gave you a thump, and you were a bit annoyed. And I got fed up, and I said I was depressed, and you put your arm around me. Well, I didn't mind that. And then I told you to get off. and we started fighting again. And we were wrestling on the bed. And you did what I said. What I said to the other man.
Now, Kevin, what did I actually do?
I've told him. You were holding me. Down there.
And could that not have been by accident in the fight?
No. It was too much on purpose. I felt you wanted to do something that I didn't want to do. And I felt that all that stuff about you being my mate was a load of rubbish.
Why didn't you tell me you thought I was doing something wrong?
I felt choked off.
Exactly. You reacted to an accident because you felt choked off, and you thought that I'd assaulted you later.
No, I didn't. I
You
know
worked
what
yourself
happened.
up because you got depressed, that you talked to Mr. Harmon, and you thought the best way you could get back at me was to accuse me.
No.
But you knew you would hurt me if you went on telling people what you imagined had happened.
Yeah, I didn't care. I'm not Benson, you are.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, my lord, I should like to re-examine this witness. Kevin, you said you first met Mr. Tyler at school.
Yeah.
What was your impression of him?
I don't know.
Well, did you like him?
Yeah.
And what did you like about him?
He made us laugh. He was strict, but you could have a laugh with him.
Now, you said that he took you and your school friends out to visit museums and historic buildings and so on. Can you remember the first time you ever went out alone with him?
Yeah, we went ice skating.
Ice skating?
Yeah, we went to Manchester.
Did you feel that your relationship with Mr. Tyler was some way out of the ordinary then?
No.
Well, is it quite ordinary for a school teacher to take a single child out to a city 20 miles away for an evening?
No, not really.
Was there then something unusual in your relationship with Mr. Tyler?
I didn't notice it if there was.
Well, was there a point at which you became aware that Mr. Tyler wanted something from you which was improper?
I know what you mean. I'm not a child. You don't have to talk to me like that.
Now, Mr. Roper is doing his best to avoid your embarrassment. Just answer the question.
I'm sorry. I can't remember.
Was there a time when you began to suspect that Mr. Tyler was interested in you sexually?
Yeah,
When was that?
when he told me about it.
He told you about it?
Yeah,
When was that?
beginning of the summer holidays last year.
And you continued to go on seeing him?
Yeah,
Why?
I didn't see any reason not to.
Were you not afraid that he might assault you?
No.
I see. Yes, Mr. Roper.
Did you know it was wrong?
Yeah.
Did he assault you?
Yes, he did.
Thank you, Kevin.
The cases in Fulchester Crown Court are fictional, but the jury is made up of members of the public. Join us tomorrow for the final part of this case.